Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Sahotaratatamangas Abhay Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Jayam Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Sahotaratatashi Samangas Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki most glorious Kartik festival ki last day of Bhishma Panchaka ki Shri Shri Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Samaveda Tagore Pimati all glories to someone, all glories to someone, all glories to someone, all glories to someone, all glories to Shishi Guru and Golang. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasim.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Udiriye.
Tato Jayam Udiraye.
Nastaprayeshu Bhadreshu.
Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Tamashloke.
Bhagavati Tamashloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Reading from Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 32. The passing away of Bhishma Dev. Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Iti mate upakalpita Vishna.
Iti mate upakalpita Vitrishna.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumi.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumi.
Swasukam upagate kvachida vihartam.
Swasukam upagate kvachid vihartam.
Prakritim upeyashu yadbhava pravaha.
Prakritim upeyashu yadbhava pravaha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Swasukam upagate kvachida vihartum.
Swasukam upagate kvachid vihartum.
Prakritim upeyashu yadbhava pravaha.
Prakritim upeyashu yadbhava pravaha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Iti rupakalpita vitrishna.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Swasukam upagate kvachida vihartam.
Swasukam upagate kvachid vihartam.
Prakritim upayeshu yadbhava pravaha.
Prakritim upayeshu yadbhava pravaha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha. Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Swasukam upagate kvachid vihartum.
Swasukam upagate kvachid vihartum.
Prakritim upeyushi yadbhava pravaha.
Prakritim upeyushi yadbhava pravaha. Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Shri Bhishma Uvacha.
Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Iti mate rupakalpita vitrishna.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni.
Swasukam upagate kwaschit vihatum
Swasukam bhagavate kvachit vihartum
Prakritim upeyasi yad bhava pravaha
Prakriti rupe yusi yad bhava pravaha Shri Vishmavacha
Shri Vishwavacha
Iti mati rupa kalpita vitrishna
Iti matirupakalpita vitrishna
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhuti
Bhagavati Satvata Pungave Vibhumni
Swasukam upagate kvachit vihartum
Susukam upagate Kwaschit vihatum
Prakriti mupeyusi yad bhava pravaha
Prakritim upeyasi yad bhava pravaha
Shri Bhishma Vacha.
Shri Vishwavacha
Shri Bhishma Dev said,
Shri Vishmadev said
Iti,
Iti
thus, Mati,
Mati
thinking, feeling, willing,
Thinking, feeling, and willing
Upakalpita,
Upakalpita
invested,
invested
Vitrishna,
with Krishna
freed from all sense desire,
free from all sense desires
Bhagavati,
Bhagavati
unto the personality of Godhead,
unto the personality of Godhead
Satvata Pungave,
Satvata Pungave
unto the leader of the devotees,
unto the leader of the devotees
Vibhumni,
Vibhumni
unto the great,
unto the great
Swasukam,
Swasukam
self-satisfaction,
self-satisfaction
Upagate,
Upagate
unto he who has attained it,
unto he who has attained it
Kvachit,
Kvachit
sometimes,
sometimes
Vihartum,
Vihartum
out of transcendental pleasure,
out of transcendental pleasures
Prakritim,
Prakritim
in the material world,
the material world
Upayeshu,
Upeshi
Upayeshi, do accept it,
who has accepted
Yadbhava,
Yadbhava
from whom the creation,
from whom the creation
Pravaha,
Pravaha
is made and annihilated.
is made and annihilated.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Vaichanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
Bhishma Dev said, let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending on the material world, although from him only the material world is created. Please repeat. Bhishma Dev said, let me now invest
Let me now invest
my thinking, feeling, and willing,
my thinking, feeling, and willing,
which were so long engaged
which were so long engaged
in different subjects
in different subjects
and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna.
Shri Krishna.
He is always self-satisfied,
He is always self-satisfied,
but sometimes,
but sometimes,
being the leader of the devotees,
being the leader of the
he
devotees,
enjoys
he enjoys
transcendental pleasure
transcendental
by
pleasure
descending on the material world,
by descending to the material world.
although from him only
Although from him only
the material world is created.
the material world is great.
Because Bhishma Dev was a statesman, the head of the Kuru dynasty, a great general and leader of the Kshatriyas, his mind was always strewn over so many subjects, and his thinking, feeling, and willing were engaged in different matters. Now, in order to achieve pure devotional service, he wanted to invest all powers of thinking, feeling, and willing entirely in the Supreme Being, Lord Krishna. He is described herein as the leader of the devotees and all-powerful. Although Lord Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, he himself descends on earth to bestow his pure devotees the boon of devotional service. He descends sometimes as Lord Shri Krishna, as he is, and sometimes as Lord Chaitanya. Both are leaders of the pure devotees. Pure devotees of the Lord have no other desire than the service of the Lord, and therefore they are called Sattvata. The Lord is chief amongst the Sattvatas. Bhishma Dev therefore had no other desires. Unless one is purified from all sorts of material desires, the Lord does not become one's leader. Desires cannot be wiped out, but they have to only be purified. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that by the Lord himself, that he gives the instruction from within the heart of a pure devotee who is constantly engaged in service to the Lord. Such instruction is given not for the many material purpose, but only for going back home, back to Godhead, Bhagavad Gita 10:10. For the ordinary man who wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord not only sanctions and becomes a witness of activities, but he never gives a non-devotee instructions for going back to Godhead. That is a difference in the dealings of the Lord with the different living beings, both the devotee and the non-devotee. He is the leader of all the living beings. As the king of the state, rules both prisoners and the free citizens. But his dealings with are different in terms of devotee and non-devotee. Non-devotees never care to take any instruction from the Lord, and therefore the Lord is silent in that case, although he witnesses all their activities and awards them the necessary results, good or bad. The devotees are above the material goodness and badness. They are progressive on the path of transcendence, and therefore they have no desire for anything. The devotee also knows Sri Krishna as the original Narayan, because Lord Sri Krishna, by his plenary portion, appears as Karanakshaya Vishnu, the original source of all material creation. The Lord also desires the association of his pure devotees, and for them only the Lord descends to the earth and enlivens them. The Lord appears out of his own will. He is not forced by the condition of material nature. He is therefore described here as the Vibhu, or Almighty, for he is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. Om Jnana Timidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dalati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parigana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Sra He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhudevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasavi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhishma Dev said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which are so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasures by descending on the material world, although from him only the material world is created." So, today is last day of Bhishma Pancham, and last day of Kartik Mas. It is Purnima. Today Purnima was shining so brightly over the temple. You might have seen, so beautiful. We're very blessed by the unlimited compassion of Srila Prabhupada to give us this oasis to experience the glories of Damodar month and Kartik Mas. And he has explained to us so many details. And of course, the last 5 days of Kartik from Ekadashi to Purnima are very auspicious and very potent. So it's quite mystical in Krishna's arrangement that today we are discussing this verse, the first prayer of Lord Bhishma Dev. So, we're very blessed. That's all I can think. So, Bhishma Dev is, of course, an extraordinary personality, and we have so many evidences of this in this pastime. Jai Shri So now Bhishma Dev has instructed the Pandavas, led by Yudhishthira Maharaj, on what to do, what not to do. And the sun is now moving to the northern hemisphere. Makar Sakranti has come. And so now he is ready to depart. He has this fortune that he can choose the passing, the time of his passing. This is a boon bestowed upon him for his great service. And Bhishma Dev is an extraordinary personality because we see if we were bestowed the boon that we could choose the time of our passing, when we would leave. Never. We are foolish, right? Like this. If you had a prisoner in a jail, and he said, you can leave anytime you want. And the prisoner said, no, I'm good, I'll stay. Would we consider that prisoner very intelligent? Foolish. We'd say foolish. So, we want to stay and stay and stay in this body. But we don't understand that actually we are in the prison house. And someone with knowledge would say, no, let me go. So Bhishma Dev knows what is the real purpose of life. Is to render eternal devotional service to the Lord in his eternal abode. So he now has come to the point that he is ready to depart. And of course, he has chose this most auspicious time in the most auspicious presence of Lord Krishna and all assembled devotees. And there he is bestowed the benediction to depart this world. And these next few prayers are very beautiful because he's going to be meditating on the Lord as he leaves the world. So, this thinking, feeling, and willing, what are these the activities of? The mind. So there's like progressive steps. We think about something, then we feel, oh, it'd be nice, and it intensifies, and then willing, we do it. So the mind's activities are thinking, feeling, and willing. But what is supposed to control the thinking, feeling, willing? Our intelligence. Our intelligence is supposed to determine. Mind will have many thoughts, many feelings, and willing to do almost anything, including mostly foolish things. But the intelligence must be there to make the good decisions. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, what we should do with our mind? Pet it, caress it, give it love. You should beat it with a shoe 100 times in the morning. We should beat our mind with a shoe 100 times, not one time. That's it. At night, he says, before going to bed, we should beat our mind again 100 times with a broomstick. Oh, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. It's so sweet. He's telling us this mind is very pesky. Krishna tells us in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita that the desires of the mind are like a river that flows into the ocean. When the rivers flow into the ocean is not disturbed by the river. It is unfazed. Nor does it stop the river from flowing. So similarly, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Astitta Prajna, he lets the mind's desires and thinking, feeling just flow. But doesn't act on it, remains undisturbed. So this is our process. Because the mind has accumulated so many desires over millions of lifetimes. I tell in the seminar when we do this that if you wrote down all the thoughts in your mind over one day and you show it to anybody, they'll never invite you for lunch. You think what this person is. So many crazy thoughts come into our mind every day. And Krishna said, no problem. No problem. Just don't act on it. Act on your intelligence. And who gives the intelligence? Krishna. Prabhupada quotes this 10th verse. Dadami buddhi. He says that Dadami buddhi. I am giving buddhi. To who? One who is constantly engaged in my devotional service. So, Prabhupada is explaining here, on one hand it looks as though Krishna is showing favoritism to his devotees. And he is showing, disfavoritism to his non-devotees. And he says, I become the leader of the devotees. And to the non-devotees, let them be. But Krishna says that I am equal to everyone. I am impartial. So how do we reconcile these two statements? Why is Krishna not speaking to the non-devotees and only speaking to the devotees? That doesn't seem fair. He should speak to all. Right? So why is Krishna not speaking to the non-devotees? Huh?
Because they are not willing to hear this force.
If one doesn't want to hear about Krishna, then Krishna says, okay, Krishna has no need to be satisfied by having others hear of him. And we do. We want everybody to hear about us. We want everybody to hear about our glories. But that is because we are conditioned. But Krishna is self-satisfied. So he has no need to be glorified for his own pleasure. So if a non-devotee does not want to hear about Krishna, then Krishna will keep quiet. But he'll continue to observe all his activities, Prabhupada says, and reciprocate with him accordingly. Yetamam prapadyante tam staivya bhajamyam. So when one is not surrendered to Krishna, then he just lets the material energy interact. Good action, good results. Bad action, bad results. Take your laws of karma. And that's how Krishna reciprocates. Because the devotee doesn't have desire. Now to the devotee, how does Krishna act? He becomes the leader. Okay, so this word leader is given a lot in this book, in this purport. Right? Leader. So what does a leader do? Lead. Well, we can't use the definition in the word. So what does leader do?
Guides.
Guides what?
His followers, like
Guides followers to?
leaders. I mean,
To goal, to success. The leader guides, inspires, takes the followers to success, not to failure. A good leader takes people to success. So what is success? Success is only one thing. Pure devotional service. Pure devotional service. That is success. And what does pure devotional service mean? 100% thinking, feeling, willing on Krishna. No other thoughts enter into the mind of the pure devotee. That's pure devotional service. That one's mind becomes fully absorbed in Krishna Smaranam, in Krishna Kirtanam, in Krishna Shravanam, hearing, remembering, chanting about Krishna. And how that manifests, Prabhupada writes that unless one is purified of all sorts of material desires, the Lord does not become one's leader. So, Krishna becomes the leader when one is fully committed to Krishna. Why? Because if I have 10 desires, and 9 are for Krishna and 1 is for some material thing, Krishna will say, well, if I become a leader, then I'll be forcing him. Right? So until we become fully committed to Krishna, then Krishna will not become our leader. But then we're stuck, because Prabhupada writes, desires cannot be wiped out. So what desires we have in our mind today? All Krishna desires? So what do? We're stuck. What is the broom that is going to sweep the mind of all its desires? What to do? So Prabhupada writes, desires cannot be wiped out, but they have only to be purified. So our process of sadhana is to purify the mind. Purify them by replacing material desires with spiritual desires. That is our spiritual process. We chant the holy names of the Lord in a goal to put more spiritual desires in the mind. Then the material desires will become overwritten. You know, if you have this is an old example, but you know, they used to have these cassettes, and you could record different things on them. And there might be some lecture or something on it, but then you can re-record over it. And then something new will come. Right? So the mind is like that. The mind is a storage database. It's a database. And it stores desires. So we can rewrite bad desires, anything material, for good desires, anything spiritual. And that is how one becomes pure in their devotional service. And when one's mind is fully absorbed in Krishna, then Krishna says, okay, now my child is 100% serious. And what does he do? He takes control of our joy. Why he takes control? Because we have expressed that desire. Not forced. But as long as there's some lingering thoughts of material, Krishna's worried. Well, what if he wants this and not me? Right? So why Krishna waits until we are fully? Because he never wants to force. So, what to do now? Well, thankfully, Krishna, while he says he waits until we are 100%, we know When we are 1% Krishna conscious, who is going to help us get to 2% Krishna conscious? Krishna and Guru. And who's going to help us get to 3%? Krishna and Guru. And 4 and 5, because this is the love Krishna has. But what we have to have is desire. What desire? Krishna, rid me of my material desires. So, we have to express that strong desire to Krishna. And it must be sincere, because Krishna doesn't hear what we speak. He observes what's in our core of our heart. Yeah, Krishna, please help me chant your holy names attentively. In reality, I'm saying, yeah, Krishna, please give me this, please give me that. So Krishna knows what's in the core of our heart. Right? So Bhishma Dev here has been engaged in so many activities, right? Administering the kingdom and giving guidance and all these worldly affairs, which in fact are also devotional service, because Bhishma Dev was ultimately connecting everybody to the process of devotional service. But now he is saying, now let me focus 100% on Krishna. Because we know, Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita, that whatever we think of at the time of death, that we achieve. Yam yam api smanam bhavam tyajante kalevaram. Whatever you think of at the time of death, you achieve. And he says, anta kale chamameva smanam mukva kalevaram. Ya prayati samarpa. That if you think of me, you'll go back to me. If you think of your dog, you'll go to your dog. Simple. So Bhishma Dev is saying, Krishna, you are here. Stop. Don't move. I don't want to take a chance that some other thought could come into my mind. Let me meditate, he's going to pray. Let me meditate on you, your beauty, your glorious personality, your features, your lotus feet. And let me leave my body thinking of you. This is the perfection of leaving the body. Now, Bhishma Dev has one great fortune. What is Bhishma Dev's great fortune?
Presence of Krishna.
That's all. That's a great fortune, presence of Krishna. But he has even greater fortune.
Death at will.
Death at will. How many of us know when our death is coming? We don't know. So if you're going in class, university, and the teacher says, one day in this course, I'm going to give you a pop quiz.
Price test.
You know? And the pop quiz is not a surprise. This is the question I'm going to ask. But I won't tell you when I'll ask. So what would the student do?
Prepare.
They would just prepare on the first day that answer, and then come to class every day ready to answer that question whenever it comes. So is the student fearful of the test? No, he's prepared. That is our condition. We already know the question Krishna is going to ask us. What do you want to do? When we die, what do you want to do? And we know in this moment sitting in Bhagavatam class, what's the answer? Go to Krishna. But when all the emotions come together in the tumultuous time of leaving this body, what desires could come to our mind? So many. So we don't have the fortune of knowing when this question will be asked of us. But we know it will be asked. So what is the intelligent thing to do? Prepare today to only desire Krishna. And then the devotee has no fear of death. Whenever it comes, he's ready. Because he's been preparing from day one. And what is day one in our spiritual journey? Prahlad Maharaj says, age 5.
Right.
We should only think of Krishna and only want Krishna. Because if I have other desires, when that death comes, who knows what will come out? The desires will come from what's in the mind. If the mind is only full of Krishna, then what is the possibility that something other than Krishna will come in the mind? Nothing. Zero chance. So the devotee today starts filling the mind with desires of Krishna. And thus one is assured. Bhishma Deva had the fortune to know when, so he could dovetail his desires and then leave. We don't have that fortune. But we have the fortune that Srila Prabhupada has bestowed the mercy upon us to help us in understanding how to prepare ourselves for our own death, which is going to come. Don't know when, but no need to live in fear. Just prepare. And prepare when? Tomorrow? No.
Right.
Who can guarantee tomorrow is coming? Anyone can guarantee tomorrow? Then prepare now. Now.
Prepare on the last.
There should be a sense of urgency. A sense of urgency. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm this, I'm that. No. Because we don't have the fortune of Bhishma Deva. So this is the process. Cleanse the mind of its thinking, feeling, and willing from all the material desires to desires of Krishna through the practice of chanting the holy names, following the orders of the spiritual master. And then Krishna will become our leader and give us the intelligence to take us back home, back to God. And that's the process. And Bhishma Dev is giving us this great instruction. Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, willing in Krishna. And no longer all these worldly affairs. A little bit on first of Lord Bhishma Dev, or of Bhishma Dev's prayers. Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Any discussion? Comments? Questions?
Is there a point to worry though?
Huh?
If you start preparing today because you don't know what your situation's going to be.
Is there a point to worry?
Yeah.
Worrying has its feature helpful. A good, healthy amount of worrying is good because it inspires us to be diligent and not lackluster. But we should over-worry to the point where we become fearful. Right? So there's a good amount of worry. Hey, I should not watch this movie. I should not listen to this song. Why? Because impressions are being created in the mind and desires are being stored in the mind. So I should be worried about that. Right? But I shouldn't be fearful because I have faith in Krishna and Radha Kundri. Right? So there is a healthy amount of worry. But that worry should inspire us to be sincere. Sense?
When you said that about the age of 5, because I've heard that, even more than that, about the age of 5.
Yeah. See, we often mistake spirituality as a retirement program. Let me finish all my worldly duties, get my education, get married, raise my children, settle my children, this, that, and then grandchildren come, and then this, and then by the time we know we're 90 years old. Okay, now I'll start reading Shrimadbhagavatam, but my eyes don't work, my back is hurting, my digestion is, I can't sleep, I can't hear, and now I'm going to start spiritual practice. Prahlad Maharaj says that bhakti should start by age 5. that we should start sincerely practicing by age 5. That chanting, honoring prasadam, reading shastra, because we have to prepare our mind and our desires, because we don't know. We know the quiz is coming, but we don't know when. And by the time one reaches 5, one has sufficiently developed the capacity to take to this process. Because this process is not complicated. It doesn't require, erudite scholarship. It doesn't require certain, extreme. No, it's simple. Chant the holy names. Enjoy Krishna Prasadam. Come see the Lord. Not so complicated.
The reason why I asked that, my mom, she was a psychologist from U of M, and she said that most kids at the age of 5 and 45, usually that mindset, the parent usually knows that's how they're going to be when the age over. So that's what I asked.
Yeah, you acquire some 80-90% of all the knowledge you're going to acquire by the time you turn 5 years old from a material perspective. But the mind is sufficiently developed to start taking to the spiritual process at this age. Right? We introduce spiritual life from birth, but we don't expect, staunch practice until the age of 5. And again, whatever we have acquired from the material world, we have to overwrite. We have to record over. And how do we record over? So, cleansing the mind is not about removing the material desires. It's about adding Krishna's desires. Right? I don't erase what is on the cassette. I overwrite it. If I try to erase what's in my mind, there's meditation techniques trying to empty the mind, clear the thoughts, that lasts for about 12 seconds. All these foolish, processes, they have no substance, because you cannot calm the mind. If I tell you, okay, you go into meditation, and you can think of anything in the world, but don't think about jumping monkeys. You can think of anything, but don't think of jumping monkeys. In your whole meditation, what you'll think of? Now, in the last 24 hours, how many times you thought of jumping monkeys? 0. But this is how fickle the mind is. Right? So, we have to not try to empty the mind. We have to override the mind. Override it with Krishna consciousness. So this is an active process. That's why we say, Anyam Bilashi Chasunyam Gyana Karna Anukoina Krishna Anushilana. Anushilana means it's an active cultivation. It's an active process. This inactive process is not practical. Doesn't work. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you.
No problem. Grantharaj Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Kartik Mahotsav ki jai, Krishna Panchak ki jai.